Show me who your closest friends are and I'll tell you who you are. We have all heard this quote at some point in our lives, and yet many of us haven't done much about it. These quote-unquote close relationships we think we have, but they're really just thousands of followers and friends on social media we only interact with daily through likes and comments. But if we're really being honest, they're not even real friends. They just help us grow our egos a bit. And it just so happens I found the perfect book to help us become that giver. What's in it for them by Joe Polish. Joe Polish, founder of Genius Network, has been called many things, but the most common is the most connected man in the world. Now, he obviously is the most connected man ever, but he's probably the most valuable. Yeah, sure, hundreds of entrepreneurs pay $25K plus to be in his high-level discussion group called Genius Network, but that's not where the value lies. The value comes from his ability to figure out what's causing people suffering and remove it by simply connecting with someone that could take it all away. The first step is we have to shift our mindset and start playing the long game with our relationship investments. Most people think in the short term when they think about relationships. They flood our Instagram DMs with fake attempts to build relationships, but we all know what they really want, a shot at our wallet. Joe Polish calls these people connectors, which is kind of funny, instead of connectors, because they're trying to connect with you simply to con you. Long-term investing in relationships starts with realizing time is not money. Relationships are money. And according to the author Joe Polish, you have to be a long-term investor to see the real results. Transactional relationships are like stopping at a cheap bar for a night just because you're in town, whereas transformational relationships are like going to Cheers where everyone knows your name. This might be an old reference, but if you don't get it, that's your fault. Cheers was awesome. This means we have to stop looking at people like a cost, but more like an investment, not just in money, but in time and in energy. This also means we have to be honest about our ROR, return on relationship, or as Joe likes to call it, return on genius. You see, as long as there are givers in the world, there will be takers. But how can we know when it's time to invest more or less into a relationship? Joe makes this actually pretty simple with one question. Does this grow the relationship? There's this natural feedback mechanism we get from a relationship. It's called growth. If both parties aren't growing, then the relationship isn't growing. And if the relationship isn't growing, then it's to the left, to the left. Yes, that was a Beyonce reference. Now let's talk about improving our Genius Network. Our personal Genius Network is a group of people who have different capabilities that come together to collaborate and solve problems. As we talked about earlier, Joe formalized this and made it a business, bringing people together like Dan Sullivan, Dr. Benjamin Hardy, Chris Voss, and hundreds of other entrepreneurs. But we don't have to do that per se. We all know at least 8 people we can bring together to create our own network. In the book, Joe breaks down how to create this group. We start with a circle in the middle of the piece of paper, that's you. Then we draw 8 smaller circles surrounding it. In each circle, we want to put the most important people in our lives and their capabilities and their greatest pain points. Just by doing this activity, you'll start to see overlaps. Friend number 1 has a capability that can solve friend 2's pain. Friend number 2 has something that they can solve friend number 3's pain, and so on and so forth. Now, this is the hard part for some. Make the damn call. Call them, get them together, and start making connections. Imagine what could be accomplished by just getting these people together. Now, there's one final circle in the middle we need to fill out, and that's us. Here's where we drill down on how we can be useful to the group. Sure, these people close to us will be willing to help, especially if we connect them and we take away their pain, but to become true givers and not just takers, we have to also give something to them worth a damn. Of course, having a skill that others need, or even having a pool during the summer is useful, but sometimes even just giving a damn about other people can be extremely useful to somebody else. As the author Joe Polish says, being useful means being caring. And caring starts the path to building deep and meaningful connections. Joe Polish was a dead broke carpet cleaner 20 plus years ago, and today he's one of the most valuable entrepreneurs on the planet. And he did it not by just having some get rich quick, flashy online marketing campaign, but by picking up the phone, listening to people, and connecting them with someone who can solve their problems. Now, there's no reason why we can't grow the same ways Joe has. All we have to do to have an easy, lucrative, fun life and business is ask this one simple question to the right people. What's in it for them?